Okay, this is going to be quite confusing and a bit long in its explanation, but I'm going to explain it as best I can. I was asked by a lot of different people about how the NHS works and how generally the kind of health system works in this country, and insurance and that kind of thing. So basically, in England, everyone pays probably more tax than most other countries, or at least we definitely pay more different taxes than in America. We pay tax on we pay income tax, but we also pay tax on, like, we get tax before we get paid, which is national insurance. Now, national insurance is, we also has like sales tax. We also has sales tax. We also have sales tax, which is called value added tax, and it's 17.5%, and it's on everything in the whole country, and it's on like luxury goods. I think there's extra taxes for some things. There's like, I don't know, I think books are less tax, and like child's clothes have got less tax, but generally everything has 17.5% tax. And when you buy something in England, it's just inbuilt into the price, because everybody has to pay it and everything, so there's never any reason to bother kind of showing on your receipt like a sales tax, like they do in all the different states in America. So, but anyway, that's sales tax, and that, I don't know, just goes to the government for whatever. And then things like alcohol and cigarettes and what else? That kind of thing that could be bad for you. Oh, and then, you know, road tax we have to pay, and tons of tax on petrol, that's the other thing. Those things, when the budget is announced, those things always taxed like crazy. Cigarettes are about £5 for, £5 or £6 even for a pack of 20, compared to like $4 or something in America, and it's all tax, pretty much. And they tax so high to deter people from buying them, which I guess makes sense, but is a bit stupid. So yeah. Anyway, so that's sales tax, and that's the tax system of England. And there's like inheritance tax and like the boring other shit, but I don't know about those. But those are the ones that I've experienced. But coming back to national insurance, it's called that because it's basically like health insurance, but it's not. It just kind of goes into the big pot, which pays for the NHS, which is the National Health Service. It was first like invented, I think. I feel like in the 50s, but I'm sure it's longer than that. I'm not sure. It was, you know, it's quite a long while ago that it was first kind of invented. And basically, the way it works is the money that's got from everyone, from their paychecks, goes into, and I can't remember, it's something like 15 or 20%, I can't remember quite how much it is, of your pay slip, goes into that. And that's on pretty much anything you earn. And that goes off into the government, into this big pot of money, which then they pay for hospitals and doctor surgeries and any medicine that you get. Let me think. All your doctor's appointments and stuff are free, but if you have to buy medicine, you have to pay a prescription charge for, unless you're a child or you're like on benefits, like, you know, if you don't have a job, you don't have to pay. That's right, if you're on benefits, you don't have to pay. If you are, I don't know. There's various different things that mean that you wouldn't have to pay. I think you don't have to pay for like the contraceptive pill, and you don't have to pay for certain medicines. I'm not really sure what. But yeah, and if you're like over 60, I think it is, if you're retired, you don't have to pay for them either. But otherwise, you have to pay, and it's usually about £7.50, and that's a blanket charge for anything that you buy. I mean, anything that's prescribed to you, you'll be blanketly charged the same amount. So, you know, if you had medicine that was like £100, it wouldn't be that much, it would just be the £7.20 or whatever. I can't remember, I don't know how much it is. I used to work in a pharmacy, and back then it was like £6.50, but it goes up like 10p every couple of months. So yeah, jeez. But anyway, national insurance pays for the kind of subsidies that would be involved in prescriptions, and also it pays for doctors to work in surgeries where, you know, you go in and you say, excuse me, I'm ill, I have this, this and this wrong. They, you know, check you out, see if you need to be referred to the hospital. If you have to go to the hospital, you go to the hospital, and it's all free. And you know, if you break your leg or your arm or something, or if you have a baby, you could go to the hospital and they will treat you and it's free. And it just blows my mind, the thought that you would have to pay to give birth. Or, you know, if you broke your leg or something, you'd be handed a bill. I can't imagine, like, oh, so now I'm better, and then you get handed a crazy huge bill. Just, it really blows my mind to just imagine that. Everyone's probably thinking I'm a complete communist or something now, but yeah, that's national insurance. And then, I mean, you pay your national insurance, even, I guess it's like any insurance, you still have to pay it even if you don't get sick, but that also pays for, you know, old people if they get sick and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of flaws in it. However, I mean, there's hospitals where we've got MRSA because they're badly funded and they're not cleaned properly or whatever. I mean, that sounds like they're all really grubby, but they're honestly not. I mean, the health service in this country is amazing, and it's well organised, I think. And every now and then people want to have a big whinge about it, and nurses and doctors are kind of like, we're going to go on strike because you don't pay us enough and that kind of thing. And there's also a lot of doctors and nurses go over to America because they get paid a lot more if they go over there, which is a shame, definitely. But yeah, that kind of hopefully explains the NHS to you and the health service and what happens if you were to get sick in this country. And also, there's no charge to be called out for an ambulance, I don't think. I mean, if you called out an ambulance, you totally didn't need one, then you probably would get charged. But yeah, I think it's definitely it scares me, the idea that if I was in America and I hurt myself, well, I'd have travel insurance if I was in America and I hurt myself, but the idea that you could really put yourself in a ton of debt if you hurt yourself, if you broke your leg, or, you know, incapacitated yourself some way, it just seems crazy to me. But yeah, there you go, hope that helps. Hope that answers your question. All the people that were asking me about that, and tons of people have messaged me about that even outside of this whole thing, so yeah, hope that helps. Bye. If you have any more questions for the English girl, then ask them down here, and I will try and answer them in a future episode, whatever, of this. And I'm going to try and make one every week, at least one a week, but I'm going to try. Please don't yell at me if I don't. I have a ton of questions left, so I'm going to try and get on with them.